At this point, what can't Jonathan Majors do? He is about to have an amazing 2023, and here's another project you totally have to check out. Folks, let's jump into my review of the new film, Magazine Dreams. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel today for another review, and today we're going to be reviewing the new film Magazine Dreams, which made its world premiere this year at Sundance Film Festival 2023 and winning an award within the U.S. Dramatic Competition category. And as I said, Jonathan Majors, what can't he do? We're getting ready for Ant-Man and the Wasp. We've just seen Devotion. Now we have Magazine Dreams, and I'm trying to tell you this performance may be his best yet. Because this performance takes you all over in terms of emotions. There's times where it makes you furious. There's times where you got empathy, and then there's times where it's just very unsettling. I mean, what a performance. And while the plot of the film truly the film is driven off of his back, off of his performance, but the plot also has its own, range of emotions. But just following Jonathan Majors' character, Killian Maddox, in this film is going to give you all sorts of emotions. And again, it's just a testament to his performance, because there's times where this film makes you think it's going to go one way, then it goes another, and then how the film is in terms of the production, like it's many times where it leaves you guessing, like a scene would happen and then it just goes off a couple of steps ahead where you're kind of wondering, like, wait, what happened after that? So there's so much mystery within the film, but then there's so much mystery within this character, within Killian Maddox, which for whatever reason I instantly Googled, because I was like, I feel like this has to be inspired by somebody, but it's not. So the fact that like all of this was kind of compiled into a movie, and Jonathan Majors being our lead here, which is just a perfect casting of somebody who can just do what needed to be done with this character. It's a fantastic film. I'm gonna get into this specifically, but I can't stress enough, this is a must watch here. It's a must watch. Magazine Dreams is a film you want to keep on your radar, that you have to check out, because the performance here by Jonathan Majors is one I feel maybe his best yet, and certainly one to be talked about. But yeah, he plays this character, Killian Maddox, who is living with his grandfather, who is a war hero. He's a vet. But Killian has the utmost aspirations and dreams, not only as he is inspiring yet a bodybuilder, but he wants to see himself on the magazine covers. He wants to be Mr. Olympia. He wants to win all of the bodybuilding competition, as he is an MPC competitor, but he has bigger goals than that. But there's a guy, Brad Vanderhorn, who in this case becomes the Stan and Eminem relationship. Yep, if you know the song, it's the same dynamic. Killian is completely obsessed with Brad. He writes him all the time. Brad never responds, and the messages keeps getting more darker and darker and darker. As I said, if you know the song Stan by Eminem, it is the Stan and Eminem relationship that he writes about in that. So you hearing that, you're like, oh, this sounds kind of unhinged, which certainly it is at points. But understanding that Killian certainly has a background of his own. Yes, he's an amazing physique. He absolutely works out to the T, but there's other factors involved here. We're talking about cocaine. We're talking about steroids. We're talking about childhood trauma. And all of these things kind of come together to make Killian somebody who, when you kind of like are introduced to him, you can tell that there's some type of mental health struggles that he's enduring, because he comes off very standoffish. There's times where he's having a hard time controlling his emotions. He has these intrusive thoughts, and while you do see like the love in his heart as he cares for his papa, you see just the sort of the rage that he has in terms of wanting to get into the best physique possible, which comes as sort of a trauma response from something else that happened in his earlier competition days. So, you know, there's a lot of different emotions that we ride with this character, but there's also a lot of different sort of personalities that this character have. And I also think a good indication in terms of like what Killian we're going to get in each scene has a lot to do with the score. Just moments where like it's heavy metal. There's times where it's kind of like sort of, you know, R&B, kind of laid back, and like the score and the music selection is absolutely a reflection to the personality and yet the intensity that we may get from the character at the time. So yes, when you're hearing that heavy metal, yeah, my man is amped. You can expect that. But as I said, you know, like you get a couple of different personalities. Socially awkward. You see him sometimes just brutally rude. You see him just sometimes disgusting in some of his actions. And then, as I said, it's unsettling thoughts. So, like, you know, he's unhinged. And you're getting all of this by the performance of, as I said, the one and only. And I think that when Jonathan Majors steps into these different personalities, you just ride with him. The continuity between like the switching from one to the next, and especially the social awkwardness, like you completely believe like his approach to certain conversations, his dynamics with other characters. Like he has this one young lady that he's completely in love with, but then you see him trying his best to be social with her, but then he's socially awkward, and then he makes her uncomfortable, and then he goes off on a whole tangent, and then it becomes sort of rage. There's a lot that goes on with this character. I can't stress enough. But anyway, I think the other thing is like, you know, obviously, and it's hard to say the transformation here because like, what came first? Obviously, he's about to be in the new Creed again, 2023. He's about to have a hell of a season, but like a hell of a year. But like, you know, did he train for this first? Did he train for Creed? Was he always in this physique? But like looking at the transformation of him, none alone, stand alone in this movie, he's completely believable as a bodybuilder. My man is chiseled, you know, and then understanding just the commitment and, should I say, the extremes that one may go through in order to win a competition. You go down that ride along, and again, that's a lot of this is sort of hard to watch. Just understanding what this character, what this human is enduring through all these different stages in the film here. And really to kind of go back really quick about the music does a good job in terms of like not only elevating scenes, but also kind of like putting a descriptor as to the personality. But there's also moments when there's silence, and that also tells a story as well too, which I thought was like really well executed. The times where silence is the time where you completely are, you know, it's unpredictable in terms of who you're going to get, but then you sort of see this side of him that is kind of like empty, and then you kind of like, oh man, I feel bad for him. But yeah, listen, he sees a therapist, and there's times where he just comes off completely delusional. He's obsessed with this dream and being the best bodybuilder in the world, winning all the awards, being on the magazine cover. And I think that, you know, as we see him do this journey, sort of self-destruct, and then the moments where you just kind of wondering what's going to happen after scene ends, and then it just jumps to another scene. You kind of like, wait, what happened in the middle here? It's a lot, and yes, it's intense, it's sad, it's unnerving, it's a lot of different emotions with this one, you know. And I will say that, like, you know, his biggest takeaway in terms of Killian is he want to be remembered, and wondering, he wants to know how could he leave a legacy for the world to remember his name, and he wants to put his face in the magazine because he feels like that is the way of doing so. But understanding while that's his dream, he's also Googling at times, you know, how to be liked by others, how to talk to girls, you know. You see all these different things, and it's difficult to watch because like some of this, you could imagine that there's folks that feel like this in real life, and that really starts to grow the empathy within the film. And like, yeah, there's other performances in this film, and I could talk about it, and I don't want the review to go so long, but it's just truly a film that is driven off the back of Jonathan Majors' performance. He's just fantastic in this. And I think that watching this, you're going to go through an array of emotions. I can't stress enough. The director, Elijah Bynum. Hey, he just does a fantastic job in one, compiling the story, but obviously working with Jonathan to really make him shine in a way I don't think I've seen him shine like this before. I love this performance in Devotion, but man, if this had came out in the slot that Devotion came out, we might be talking about this during the Oscars in a couple of weeks, you know. But nonetheless, no, this is one you want to watch for sure. And just be ready, because there's gonna be times we're gonna have like, I think at times you start think the film's gonna go in one direction, you start bracing yourself for one thing, and then you end up coming back with another, and then you are wrong about one prediction, and it goes in another direction. So just be ready to be truly surprised and just wrong about where you think it's gonna go. It's completely unpredictable, and yet it's enjoyable. So totally check out Magazine Dreams, folks. Keep an eye out for it as it's made its world premiere this year at Sundance Film Festival 2023. Once you do so, folks, let me know in the comments what your thoughts about this film. And I should mention, just shout out to the rest of the cast, and Haley Bennett, Taylor Page, Michael Heron, Harrison Page, Harriet Harris, all the folks that really made this come together. I know I spoke a lot about Jonathan Majors, but by all means, there's good performances by folks, even in the small amount of time that they have to really just take the film and elevate it in the spaces that they need to. Folks had to work across from his performance, and yes, while Jonathan was acting on God tier, let it be known that other folks was holding it down too. Absolutely solid performances up and down the board. This is an amazing film. Definitely worth the award this year. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth keeping your eyes peeled for. Definitely worth the discussion. Definitely worth the hype. This is the one you want to check out, folks. But yeah, when you do so, let me know in the comments your thoughts about it. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon. Big gold bell.